Welcome to the Imaginative Storm Writing Prompt of the Week session. I'm James Nave.
I'm Allegra Houston.
And every Saturday we gather with a group of people to generate some writing, and we do it within an hour. And within that hour, we devote only 10 minutes to generating the writing. So that's what we're going to do with you today. 10 minutes, it's all it's going to take.
It's all it's going to take, but there is a bit of prep. So this is how the prep goes. We are going to put an image up on the screen for 2 minutes, as we do in our Zoom call, and ask you to generate a list of words or short phrases, like, 2 or 3 words, like, who goes there, or nail polish, or whatever. So not joined up writing.
Who goes there, nail polish?
See, this is how it works.
And nail polish said, I am here today.
I don't know. If we had a longer list of words, nail polish could have said something more interesting. Yes. So there you go. That's the point. That's why you're going to generate a list of words for 2 minutes. They don't have to have anything to do with the image at all. They don't have to have anything to do with one another. And we'll put the image up on the screen now for you to make your list.
So now you have a list of words that you generated in 2 minutes. And on the calls, every Saturday, we do exactly the same thing. Everybody generates their own personal list. And after we finish with the 2 minutes, we go around the Zoom room and ask each person to give one word or phrase from their list, and everybody writes that down. So what we'd like to do now is to share the list that we created this morning for you. So you will have your personal list and our community list. And Allegra's going to, guess what? Read that list for you right now.
The nice thing about a community list is it creates a kind of community imagination, kind of collective imagination. So here's today's collective imagination. Recalculating, barbed wire, Hitchcock Halloween, slicing sparrows, phlegm, squawk. Birds are so clever. Looks like Big Ben, vertebrae, murmuration magic, ombre horizon, butterfly effect, staccato, swallowing sky, one black bird, best birdseed ever, scribbled, our relationship, swift link, it's a poop storm, telegraphic migration, threads, we're not chickens, visual cacophony, prisons above and below, rest not against the sky.
So that's our community list for you. And it just occurred to me, I want to just show you this. We pride mess around here. So here are the two lists. This is the community list that Allegra read. Notice how well written it is. And then here's mine. And mine's just absolutely messy, and I can hardly read anything I write. And who knows what yours looks like. But whatever it looks like, it's distinctly yours. And if it is a little bit messy, then that's fine.
And if you, this
Keep it
actually
that way.
happened last Thursday, as the woman, who was reading, we all asked somebody to read the community list after we generate it. And she couldn't read her own writing of her own word. And she said, instead of, I think it was invisible something, but instead of saying invisible, she said, which I had written down, she said insatiable. And whatever, I'd have to look it up, but insatiable whatever was such an incredibly interesting phrase. And it all came from her not being able to read her writing properly. So her imagination just put something else in there. So this is just Anita saying, if you can't read your writing, it doesn't matter. Just read whatever you think it says.
And so on that note, what we'd like to do now is to invite you to get ready to go for 10 minutes to generate some work. And we are on the subject of keeping it messy. So you'll see how messy this is. And when people write on Saturday morning, they generally have a difficult time reading a little bit of what they've written because it's a little messy, but nobody really cares. We'll get to the reading part a little bit later, but right now what we'd like to do is to encourage you to get ready to generate 10 minutes worth of writing.
And as you do that, let your imagination take the lead. You might be familiar with, left brain, right brain. We tend to say rational mind and imagination. So if you think of it as a dance between those two parts of your brain, let the imagination be the partner that's leading the dance. Maybe it's a tango or a foxtrot or something. One partner is leading, the other partner is following. So let the imagination be the partner that leads as much as you can. Your rational mind probably isn't used to that. And if you're not used to following in a dance, and then you realize it's actually pretty difficult to give up control. So your rational mind will protest. It won't be used to giving up control, but it's only for 10 minutes. Your imagination is not going to, break things and wreck the house. But your rational mind's job is to follow, not to storm off in a huff, not to collapse in a heap and give up, but just to let your imagination take this wherever it wants to go and do its job of making a little bit of sense of it. Having potentially legible handwriting and potentially understandable grammar and spelling and things like that. And you'll find your rational mind does contribute, as indeed it does contribute to a dance, but your imagination is taking the lead.
So what we'll do now is time you for 10 minutes, which begins right now. So off you go. See you soon. So now you have a brand new piece of writing. It's never existed before. And we invite people on our Saturday call to go into Zoom rooms and read their work aloud. We are going to now invite you to put us on pause and read your work aloud. And if it's a little messy and you find you can't read it, well, please just feel free to do some improvisational. Let something come out and don't really worry about it. The idea is to allow your voice to participate in this writing process that you're working with right now. And the voice will prove to be quite a good tool for revision. And you'll sense that if you read your work aloud. And if you've done it before, you know what we're talking about. But if this is your first time, just lean into it and see what happens.
It's a revision tool, and it's also a sort of authenticity meter, because you can tell when you're reading aloud, you can tell if something feels like you or doesn't really feel like you. And that's also a very, very useful tool for later. So the point of this reading aloud, yes, it's nice if there are people listening to it, but the point really is that you're listening to it and you're feeling yourself speak it. So you're doing this for you. If there's somebody in the room there, maybe they would like to listen. And if not, fine, you're your most important audience.
So you're on your own right now. Put us on pause and see what happens.
So we hope that you found something interesting in that experience of reading what you wrote aloud. And before we go further, I want to credit the image. It is by a photographic artist named Edu Aguilera. And I've put a link to his Flickr page in the text below this video. And also thank you to Eve Stern, who's one of the people who writes with us on Saturdays, for sending us that image. If you know any really good prompt images you'd like to send them to us, please go ahead and do. You can do that via our website at imaginativestorm.com.
And speaking of imaginativestorm.com, if you like what you wrote and you would like to post it on our Circle community, we have that opportunity available for you. And Allegra will tell you about how to do that in a second. I also want to make sure that I invite you to come to our Saturday Imaginative Storm Writing Prompt of the Week session, or Thursday. We also have one on Thursday as well. The Saturday session begins at noon and goes for an hour, noon Eastern time. And the one on Thursday is 6 p.m. Eastern time for an hour. And then after the hour, we spend a little time in conversation, similar to what we're doing now with you.
So if you join our mailing list, you will get invitations on the day. And if you forgot to join our mailing list or you didn't get the invitation, you can always go to imaginativestorm.com, scroll down to the footer, and you will find a link that will take you to the Zoom link, and you can join us hopefully promptly, because we start on time. And as Nave said, we go for an hour to do our agenda, and then we usually have an after chat after that. So meanwhile, back to posting your work on the Circle, and this is another way to join our community. You can read what other people wrote. They can read what you wrote. It was written in 10 minutes, so criticism is ridiculous. Nobody bothers. The only thing that's important is what pops. So this is how you get to Imaginative Storm on Circle. Go to imaginativestorm.com, scroll across the top navigation, and you will see Community. Click on that, and on the Community page, scroll down. Pretty soon you will see the Imaginative Storm on Circle. Click in the picture, click on the word Circle, and that will take you to our Circle site. If it's your first time, you'll need to make a login name and password. It's free. And then go over to the left navigation and you will see Prompt of the Week. Click on that, and you will be in a list of all the prompts that we've done for the last 3.5 years, plus with the most recent one at the top. When you click on one of the prompts, you'll see the image, you will see the word list, you won't on that one because I haven't put it up yet, and what other people wrote. And then if you scroll right down to the bottom, it will give you a box where you can add in what you wrote.
And we have a lot of resources at imaginativestorm.com, and we recommend a lot of things. And we have a book we'd like to recommend for you, written by a friend of ours, Allegra.
Okay, she's Mirabai Starr, and it's called Ordinary Mysticism. We at Imaginative Storm often are talking about ordinary beauty. And the the beauty in the everyday. And what Mirabai is talking about in this book is the kind of the connection to the divine in the everyday. You don't have to sign up for a religion or be in any way, religious and following rules, but there are people who, she tells stories of people who really just lead with compassion, lead with their connection to whatever they consider divine. Whatever you consider divine, you'll find inspiration in this book. So we want to recommend it, Ordinary Mysticism by Mirabai Starr. As we make this video on September 21st, 2024, it was published 2 days ago.
So there you go. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, being part of our community, and we hope you join us on Saturday. We also hope that you enjoy what you're doing here, and maybe we'll get to meet you soon. If not, lean into what you're doing wherever you are in the world, and stay with it, because it really is of great value to those around you and even beyond.
So thank you for tuning in today. We hope to see you.